Hey, I'm Kevin Wallace, and here's your weekly global swell outlook effective on August 17th. Enhanced storm activity in the South Pacific of late has set up surf throughout the Americas this week. Chile is the primary recipient of this increased storm activity, with very solid swell having already impacted the region on Monday and Tuesday, with reinforcing pulses all week and even this weekend. Central America and mainland Mexico will see a building trend on Wednesday, with medium-sized surf peaking through the second half of the week. Exposed breaks will see overhead waves, while standout deep-water spots like Puerto Escondido will be in the double up to triple overhead range on sets. California will see the south-southwest swell build in for the second half of the week and continue this weekend with fun to locally mid-sized surf and certainly a nice boost from the relative flatness we've seen over the past couple weeks. Over in the western South Pacific, storm activity is fairly slowed down, but we are watching a developing series of storms that should provide small but contestable waves starting this weekend for the Billabong Pro Tahiti. Early next week looks more promising, likely nothing big, but mid-sized surf in the overhead range is certainly possible. And be sure to stay tuned to surfline.com for updates, as we'll be providing the official forecast throughout the event. One of the strongest storms in the world this week will take place in the Southern Ocean and looks likely to send solid to XXL swell to areas from South Australia to Victoria to Tasmania and even beyond at the end of the weekend into the weekend. While local wind will be an issue for many areas that are wide open to the expected swell, breaks along Victoria's surf coast should see favorable wind and strong surf. We'll continue west into the Indian Ocean, where things aren't quite as active as what we saw earlier in the month, although you would still be hard-pressed to find a region with more swell lining up through the back half of August. Western Australia just keeps getting slammed with swell, with more on the way in the next few days and possible XL swell for early next week. Unfortunately, these swells will be plagued by steady onshore flow throughout the southwest. While Indonesia won't be huge anytime soon, it will see a run of medium-sized southwest to south-southwest swell in the overhead range during the next few days. The North Atlantic is showing signs of life, and some early season swells lining up for Europe and even Northwest Africa in the coming days. First pulse will be mostly fun size and arrive during the second half of the week, with good potential for a larger and fairly solid swell over the weekend. While local wind will be problematic at times throughout Europe over the weekend, there should be some windows of good local wind as well. We'll finish this week in the South Atlantic, where things will be relatively quiet in the immediate term, although storm activity looks likely to ramp back up again as we move into the weekend. There's good potential for regions on both sides of the South Atlantic to come to life in the medium range, with fairly strong southerly surf lining up for Brazil and potential for a cooking swell and offshore wind at J-Bay early next week. As always, be sure to stay tuned to the Surfline Premium Forecast for all the details in your local area, and until then, we'll see you out in the water.